Hello, friends. If you want to watch super hit movie, Paw Patrol the movie in English, then you must like this video. If you are visiting our channel for the first time, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Friends, in today's video, the movie we are going to talk about is called Paw Patrol. The movie, we will talk about what this movie is and where you can watch it, all the interesting facts about this movie. In today's video, I am going to tell you. I'm also going to give you all the information on which a platform or on which satellite channel you will get to watch this movie also. We will talk in detail about the technical department, music department, pre-production, filming, post-production, budget, box office collection of this film. We will also talk about the story of this film, and I will also give you a small review of the story of this film. Apart from this, we will discuss about the facts of this film's storyline, star-cast actors' performance in the film, and which character has played which role. That's why I request you friends to watch this video till the end, and so let's start the video. Paw Patrol, the movie, is a 2021 Canadian animated action-adventure comedy film based on the television series Paw Patrol, created by Keith Chapman. It was directed by Cal Brunker, who co-wrote the screenplay with Billy Frolick and Bob Barlin from a story by Frolick. Several cast members from the main series reprised their roles, including Kingsley Marshall, voicing Marshall, Keegan Hedley, voicing Rubble, Shale Simons, voicing Zuma, Lily Bartlam, voicing Sky, and Ron Pardo, voicing both Captain Turbot and Mayor Humdinger. They are joined by Iain Armitage, voicing Chase, Marsai Martin, Yara Shahidi, Kim Kardashian, Randall Park, Dax Shepard, Jimmy Kimmel, Tyler Perry, and introducing Will Brisbane in his film debut as Ryder. In the film, Ryder and the Paw Patrol pups are called to Adventure City in order to stop the recently elected Mayor Humdinger from wreaking havoc. Ronan Harari announced that Spin Master Entertainment was considering whether to extend the Paw Patrol franchise into feature films at some point in the next 12 to 24 months in November 2017. Development for the feature film based on the Paw Patrol television series began in February 2020, with Brunker attached to direct and Barlin and Frolick attached to write the screenplay. From October 2020 to May 2021, the voice casting call began. Production was done remotely during the COVID-19 pandemic. The film was produced almost entirely in Canada. According to Brunker, 95% of everything happened in Canada, with the exception being some audio recording. Paw Patrol, the movie, premiered at the View Leicester Square in London on August 8, 2021, and was theatrically released in Canada by Elevation Pictures and internationally by Paramount Pictures on August 20, 2021. It was also made available on Paramount Plus on the same day in the United States. The film received generally positive reviews from critics and became a box office success, grossing over $151 million worldwide against a production budget of $26 million. A sequel titled Paw Patrol: The Mighty Movie was released on September 29, 2023, featuring elements from the Mighty Pups sub-theme of the main show, and a third film, Paw Patrol: The Dino Movie, is scheduled for release on July 31, 2026. Plot: after being called by Captain Turbot to rescue a truck driver who has crashed through a suspension bridge, the Paw Patrol receives a message from a Dachshund named Liberty, who informs them that their arch-nemesis, Mayor Humdinger, has just taken over nearby Adventure City in a fixed election. Chase initially refuses to go, as he has post-traumatic stress disorder from being abandoned in the city when he was younger, but reluctantly agrees to go after Ryder assures him everything will be fine. As Ryder and the pups settle into their new headquarters, Humdinger travels to a meteorology laboratory and commandeers a cloud catcher designed to suction up small clouds for research. Despite the warnings of head meteorologist Dr. Kendra Wilson, Humdinger uses the device to keep the city constantly free of rain. He later attempts to set off too many fireworks at once at a show, and the Paw Patrol, aided by Liberty, suit up to respond to the ensuing chaos. During the response, Chase sees some citizens trapped on a balcony and parachutes down to rescue them, but he forgets to take off his parachute and gets blown over the railing by a wind gust, badly frightening him. The next day, Humdinger unveils a loop-the-loop extension he has designed for the local L train. The structure quickly breaks, leaving a train stranded upside down atop a loop. Ryder sends Chase up to a rooftop to zipline across and rescue the passengers, but Chase freezes in panic. Skye rescues him and Marshall saves the passengers instead. After the train rescue, Ryder advises Chase to take a break. Chase angrily accuses Ryder of betraying his trust and giving up on him and leaves. However, he is captured and taken to an obedience school converted into a dog pound. Liberty allows herself to be captured as well so she can speak with Chase and the other impounded dogs. The rest of the Paw Patrol follows Liberty, breaking into the pound and releasing the prisoners. As the other pups return to headquarters, Ryder takes Chase to the intersection, where he had found Chase as a small puppy, and explains that he adopted Chase because he saw bravery in him. Later, Humdinger reveals an extension he has added to the city's tallest skyscraper, putting his office at the very top. Kendra attempts to warn an indifferent Humdinger that the cloud catcher is being overworked and will soon dangerously malfunction. The machine goes critical, unleashing a hurricane on the town. Kendra calls the Paw Patrol to respond. They suit up, and Ryder names Liberty as their newest member and gives her a motor scooter to ride. As the pups help the citizens take cover, Ryder ascends to Humdinger's office and convinces him to evacuate by getting on the elevator. Ryder manually releases the elevator cables to quickly lower Humdinger and his kittens to the ground. He attempts to rappel down after them, but the storm blows the tower extension into another building, trapping Ryder in the debris. Seeing the tower fall, Chase uses a special motorcycle with suction cup tires to ride up the side of a skyscraper, arriving at the gap where the falling tower split its neighboring building. After briefly freezing up again when he realizes he cannot use his grappling hook, Chase remembers Ryder's words about his bravery and takes a leap of faith across the gap, finding Ryder trapped in the rubble on the other side and freeing him. They hurry down to safety, while Skye sacrifices her helicopter to destroy the cloud catcher and end the storm. Once the weather clears, Chase arrests Humdinger for gross negligence, public endangerment, and dog napping. The Paw Patrol is later given the key to Adventure City in a major ceremony held by Kendra and news reporter Marty Muckraker. As Ryder gives Liberty her own pup tag and collar to make her a true member of the team, one of the former pound dogs calls the team for help, and they happily depart for another rescue. Voice cast: Iain Armitage as Chase, an ambitious 7-year-old German Shepherd, is the main protagonist of the movie, who serves as a police pup. He grew up on the streets of Adventure City, giving him a strong character arc for the film. Armitage found the role special and enjoyable. He said, "It's a new challenge because you don't get to convey anything with your body movements. That's all the animator's job," he then explained. "You can only use your voice to convey whatever you're trying to show, but it's really fun to do animation." Armitage replaces Justin Paul Kelly from the series. Marsai Martin as Liberty, a spirited long-haired dachshund who grew up and lives in Adventure City and becomes the newest member of the Paw Patrol. She considers the team to be her heroes and works hard to keep the city clean. She also dreams of becoming the team's member before joining them. She is outspoken and often snarks at other people. Martin said this particular role was unique because it hits close to home. Martin expressed her feelings about her role. "She's so wild and a free spirit. She's so energetic and fun, and I feel like she'd actually make a perfect fit into the Paw Patrol because of how amazing and wild she is." Yara Shahidi as Dr. Kendra Wilson, a scientist who works at a university and quotes things in scientific terms that have to be repeated in normal terms until Rubble understands what she said. She invented the cloud catcher, a tool that Mayor Humdinger would use to clear the weather. Kim Kardashian as Dolores, a sassy poodle who is working at an animal shelter after being jailed in the Fuzzy Buddies obedience school. Kardashian said she was excited to voice the part, thrilled that her children now consider her a cool mom. Randall Park as Butch, a burly man and one of Mayor Humdinger's security guards who attempt to keep the pups out of Adventure City. Dax Shepard as Reuben, a skinny man and another of Mayor Humdinger's security guards. On voicing his character role, Shepard stated that Paw Patrol was the first show he was forced to watch after becoming a dad, but admitted that he actually enjoys it, adding, That earned him some serious cred with his kids. He concluded, "I get to reintroduce my kids to that experience of going to the movies that I valued so much growing up." Tyler Perry as Gus, a truck driver in the midst of transporting Canadian maple syrup to its destination when he is saved by Chase after his truck swerves off a bridge to avoid hitting a baby sea turtle. Perry, on his role, saying that his 6-year-old son Amon is also thrilled that his father is involved in the film. He loves Sky and Chase and Zuma. "I know the theme song like the back of my mind," he stated in an interview. "That's the reason I said yes. I really wanted to be a part of something that he could appreciate as much as I do." Jimmy Kimmel as Marty Muckraker, the wig-wearing news anchor of the Adventure City News Network. Kimmel also had trouble convincing his kids, 4-year-old Billy and 7-year-old Jane, of his role in the film. "I have been telling them, trying to explain to them that Daddy's in the Paw Patrol movie," the late-night host jokes. "I'm hopeful this will make me a big shot, at least for a couple of days." Will Brisbane as Ryder, a 10-year-old boy who leads the Paw Patrol. With his leadership, Ryder confidently sends the group on their mission to save Adventure City from dog-hating Mayor Humdinger and also having a complicated relationship with Chase. Brisbane had to keep his role a closely guarded secret for some time, which he found difficult as his 9-year-old brother is a huge Paw Patrol fan. Brisbane replaces Beckett Hipkiss from the series. Keegan Headley as Rubble, a wisecracking 5-year-old English bulldog who serves as a construction pup. He becomes the main comic relief character in the film as opposed to the series, so Headley was encouraged to make up his own dialogue during his recording. After recording, director Cal Brunker says that his personality is a mix of Disney-Pixar comic relief sidekicks such as the Genie, Timon and Pumbaa, Mushu, Dory, Mater, Olaf, Ducky, and Bunny, giving him a personality change from being a tough pup to a funny comic relief character in this film. Lily Bartlam as Sky, a sweet 7-year-old cockapoo who serves as an aviator pup. Kingsley Marshall as Marshall, a cuddly 6-year-old Dalmatian who serves as a firefighting pup. Callum Schonecker as Rocky, a clever 6-year-old mixed-breed dog who serves as a recycling pup. Schonecker previously voiced the copycat from the Mighty Pups, charged up sub-series, and replaces Jackson Reed from the series. Shale Simons as Zuma, an energetic 5-year-old chocolate Labrador who serves as an aquatic rescue pup. Ron Pardo, Mayor Humdinger, the Paw Patrol's arch-nemesis from Foggy Bottom, who is elected the mayor of nearby Adventure City due to his name being the only one on the ballot and the other candidate somehow withdrawing from the election. Though Humdinger despises the Paw Patrol pups, he has shown a general dislike for dogs in general because he prefers cats. Pardo said he drew inspiration for Mayor Humdinger's voice from mixing impressions of a Dudley Do-Right cartoon character with a well-known American entertainer from the 1930s-1950s. Captain Turbot, a sea captain and animal expert who is one of the Paw Patrol's closest friends. Kim Roberts as Mayor Goodway, the mayor of Adventure Bay. Paul Braunstein as a tough guy on a subway who Liberty scolds for littering. Richard Arnold provides the voice of the tough guy in the UK dub. Neil Crone as Tony, the proprietor of the namesake of his grocery store. Monique Alvarez as Carmen, Liberty's friend who works at a bodega. Jamila Ross as a camerawoman working for Marty Muckraker. Josh Robert Thompson as the fireworks technician that Mayor Humdinger enlisted to pull off his fireworks show. Josh Graham as the computer voice that is heard in the Paw Patrol's vehicles and their satellite headquarters in Adventure City. Joe Pinguy as Barney, an Old English sheepdog and inmate at Fuzzy Buddy's obedience school. Charles Gallant as Harris, a Labrador retriever and inmate at Fuzzy Buddy's obedience school. Ronan Keating provides the voice of Harris in the UK dub. Richard Binsley as Rocket, a Jack Russell Terrier and inmate at Fuzzy Buddy's obedience school who often chases his tail. Tom Fletcher provides the voice of Rocket in the UK dub. Raul Baneja's dad. Sarah Chaudhry as Daughter. Kevin Duhaney as a window washer. 5 side characters from the original series also make non-speaking cameo appearances in the film during the rescue of Gus. Francois Turbo, Katie, Mr. Porter, Farmer Al, and Farmer Yumi. Production. Development. In November 2017, Ronan Harari confirmed that Spin Master was currently considering whether to extend the Paw Patrol franchise into feature films at some point in the next 12 to 24 months. Animation tests were conducted in 2017 to measure how the characters would translate onto the big screen, and the company developed a film script. Development of the film was confirmed on February 21, 2020, with Cal Brunker attached as director, while Spin Master Entertainment's president, Jennifer Dodge, serves as the film's producer. Production was done in both the United States and Canada. On March 13, 2021, an exclusive first look of the film was shown during the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards 2021. Dodge stated that they were excited about the partnership with Paramount Pictures and Nickelodeon Movies to bring the franchise to the big screen. She adds, "This first foray into the arena of feature film marks a significant strategic expansion for Spin Master Entertainment and our properties. This demonstrates our commitment to harnessing our own internal entertainment production teams to develop and deliver IP in a motion picture format, and allows us to connect our characters to fans through shared theatrical experiences." Dodge said, "For us, it was important to be able to tell a deeper character story than what they've been able to do with the series." She also explained, "And to tell it in a way that a child really can understand and relate to, and maybe even their parents get a deeper meaning from it. You can have a hard day at school or daycare, and you can rise above those difficulties, and you can come through on the other side. It doesn't mean you're never scared. It doesn't mean you don't doubt yourself. But if at the end of the day you really believe in yourself and you have people around you who believe in you, you can overcome it." When the chance came to pitch my take on the movie, I was able to bring all of their experience and what my kids loved about the show to the pitch, and I think that really helped, says Brunker. Our take was, we really wanted to build this around the emotional journey of one character, so it felt like more of a theatrical experience. You go on a journey with one of these characters, overcoming their struggles, and the whole team is involved, but we felt that that was the best way to bring an audience deeper into the story. Casting on October 15, 2020, Iain Armitage, Marsai Martin, Yara Shahidi, Kim Kardashian, Randall Park, Dax Shepard, Tyler Perry, and Jimmy Kimmel were announced as part of the cast. On May 3, 2021, the cast and characters were announced. Adam Levine, Perry, and Kardashian joined the cast because their respective children were fans of the show. For the role of Ryder, more than 1,000 people auditioned before Will Brisbane, a 15-year-old actor from Sherwood Park, Alberta, Canada, got the role. On July 14th, it was announced that Ronan Keating, Richard Arnold, Sam Fayers, and Tom Fletcher were added to the cast as part of the voice cameos for the dubs in the UK and Ireland. During an interview with Collider, Brunker spoke about enjoying the voice cast overall. "The core cast of Pups and Ryder are all kids, and that was new for us and really wonderful. We really worked with them to try to get true, meaningful performances out of all the characters, and I thought they did an amazing job." The character of Chase, played by Iain Armitage, goes on such a wonderful emotional journey that's a little bit unexpected, and he just brought so much to it. He broke our hearts in some moments. You really end up rooting for him. In terms of improvisation, I would say Marsai's deliveries were the things that were most surprising. She almost couldn't do anything bad. When we were going through the takes, it was like, this is great in a different way, and this is great in a different way. She was wonderful and brought so much energy to it. Everybody was wonderful. Daxford is the nicest guy who was game on for everything. Tyler Perry was thrilled to be a part of it. His son is a big fan, and he certainly loves to improvise and do lots of takes. We couldn't have had a better cast or a better experience for recording them. In an interview with Screen Rant, Iain Armitage spoke about the film and how he aspires to be like his canine counterpart, Chase, ahead of the film's home entertainment release. He stated about the film's main character, "Chase is a fun, funny, smart, brave, loyal dog. And he's a police dog, and he's sort of I don't think he's the head of the team, but he's really on top of things. I think he's very cool under pressure. He's very helpful, and he always loves to help other people. And he's always very kind, which I think is very important. And I think I try to be like him in everyday life. I don't always succeed, but I try. According to Armitage, the cool thing about voiceover is you can't convey things with your body because, of course, they don't see it. So you sort of have to have everything that you're going to be doing for the character come through in your voice, which is hard, but it's also kind of fun. It's a fun challenge, but on the upside, you can show up to work in pajamas and they won't get mad at you. So that balances out. But I think just trying to really bring emotion into my voice in some of those scenes and to really make it clear that I care about Ryder Brisbane and my fellow pups on the team. Writing. On February 21st, 2020, Bob Barlin announced that he would co-write the screenplay with Billy Frolick. Director Cal Brunker, who also wrote the film along with his childhood friend Bob Barlin and Billy Frolick, came to the film with a solid understanding of the characters thanks to his own kids. Screenwriter Barlin described the main character to be focused on in the film. Chase is kind of like the quarterback. Chase sort of seems like the main character. And so being able to expand and kind of have a character who fails and who has to overcome an obstacle is important. We were able to do more than the TV show time allows. Starting in Adventure Bay, you see him as that same perfect pup from the show where he's executing things flawlessly. That's really where we were able to expand on his backstory and create something that would be worthy of the feature film. So you're seeing him for the first time really ever make mistakes and mess up and come to terms with not being perfect and then pushing through and overcoming that fear. That was really something that we were excited about in terms of telling a story. Brunker adds, at its core, the movie is about what it means to be scared and how to overcome your fears. It felt really important to be doing something that we could share with people at this time as the movie comes out. I think people are coming out of this time of fear and uncertainty, and I think the movie has a lot to say about that. And we really feel proud that hopefully this is going to be one of the first movies that people get to see in theaters again. The film also represented the fulfillment of a lifetime dream for Bob Barlin and Cal Brunker, who had been making films together for decades. Brunker had known Barlin since they attended high school and would make films with him later into their respective careers. Back before we ever got a chance to make a movie, Bob and I went to Hollywood for the first time, and we actually paid to go on the Paramount lot tour. You know, you get to see behind the gates. We said to each other, wouldn't it be amazing if one day we were making a movie for Paramount? Well, we're 6 or 7 weeks away from our first movie for Paramount coming out. And to be entrusted with such a beloved brand for so many people, and to be able to share that with the world, this is a dream come true for us. It's been something we've been working towards for a long time, and it's a real gift. Animation. On November 8, 2019, it was announced that Micros Animation in Montreal would handle the animation. There are 250 filmmakers with a team of about 60 devoted to the animation. Their biggest challenge was creating high-quality theatrical animation that didn't lose the style of the series. They were also especially interested in creating action scenes that had more of a realistic quality. While they wanted to focus on the backstory of one character, it was also important to them to add a new female pup to the crew, since the character Sky is usually the only female on the team. New pups often appear in the series for a specific adventure to round out the team, but then are not necessarily in every episode going forward. Barlin stated about adding a new pup to the film. For us, in terms of actually creating Liberty, it was really fun because one of the nice things was that we were able to create a character that maybe was a bit different than the other pups. All the pups in the Paw Patrol are perfect, and they're great. They're a certain way, but Liberty has got a little bit of an edge to her, which is nice. Having her experience and seeing her experiencing the film from her point of view as she relates to the Paw Patrol is really fun. And then in terms of Marsai Martin, who plays her, she's such an incredible actress. It was such a gift that she agreed to do it because she really brings the character to life. We couldn't imagine her being played in a better way by a better character, so we were really looking to have her on. Brunker says that Liberty is a new character, which allows them to write differently for her than the other pups. They also knew when she grow up in Adventure City, it justifies her having a little bit thicker skin and a tougher way of talking. He stated that it is fun to juxtapose with the attitudes that the other people used to from the regular core team of pups. Brunker stated, "For me, it started really young with drawing and being a visual thinker and expressing myself visually. The idea of being able to create almost anything you can imagine in animation is something that I find incredibly attractive." While Barlin agrees, saying, "One of the nice things about animated movies, just from growing up on animated films and loving them well past when I was grown, is that it's so many people coming together and being able to make a film on a large scale that goes out so wide across the world. One of the exciting things about being a filmmaker is that your work is seen by hundreds of thousands or millions of people. Animation allows us to work at a scale where we can do something spectacular and really special on screen." "My daughter is a huge Sky fan," says Brunker. "She was 4 when we started making this movie, so we wanted to give Sky some really big, exciting moments. We also felt, just in terms of bringing something fresh and new to the team, a new girl pup would be wonderful. Because she's new for the movie, we wanted to make her stand out. We thought that because she was from the city, we could make her a little tougher, a little more rough around the edges than the other pups are, and that would bring something fresh to that world as well." Dodge and Brunker both thought the style of the animation needed to remain true to the series, but with some significant adjustments to give it a more theatrical feel. According to Brunker, they wanted to redesign some things noticed in the movie. The back legs of the dogs actually look and function like real dog legs, and in the TV show they're kind of more cartoony, just kind of stick legs. We felt it would allow them to move more like real dogs, and if we could push the realism of the movement, then it would make the fact that they're doing these great big rescues and all this heroic stuff even more exciting. At a reported budget of $26 million, the CGI animation is more polished and textured than the series, with Brunker and his team reshaping and rebuilding every character, vehicle, and environment from scratch. Aside from some voice recording in Los Angeles, including recordings from most of the cast remotely, and orchestral scoring in Nashville, 95% of everything happened in Canada, according to Brunker. Music. Heider Pereira composed the music for the film. He previously collaborated with director Brunker on the Nut Job 2, Nutty by Nature, 30. On June 2, 2021, it was confirmed that Maroon 5 lead singer Adam Levine had provided an original song titled Good Mood. It was written by Shellback, Savan Kotecha, Oscar Goras, and Adam Levine. Shellback and Oscar Goras are the producers, while Savan Kotecha serves as the executive producer. The track was officially released on August 6th and sent to Italian radio on October 1st, 2021. Another song titled The Use in Trying was announced on August 2nd, 2021, as well as the official release on August 10th, co-written by Alessia Cara, who performs the track, and John Levine, who additionally serves as producer. Levine stated that her one-of-a-kind voice weaves a beautiful song that captures the sadness and uncertainty during a pinnacle moment in the film. During Spin Master's first quarter 2019 earnings conference call, an animated theatrical film based on the series was announced to be in the works, with an August 2021 theatrical release date. On April 24, 2020, the film's theatrical release was announced to be August 20th, 2021. The film was also available to stream on Paramount Plus in the U.S. on the same day it released in theaters. Because Canadian distribution is handled by Elevation Pictures, the Canadian version of Paramount Plus did not initially offer the movie, and it is unknown if it will. In July 2024, the film was made available to stream on Netflix in the United States. In July 2021, Paramount Pictures UK and Ireland announced that the film would be released in British and Irish theaters on August 9, 2021. This version also retained the voice actors of the British dub. The film had its red carpet premiere at the View Leicester Square in London on August 8, 2021. Paw Patrol, the movie, was released in China on January 14, 2022. Marketing. By October 2020, the number of UK marketing partners have signed to promote Paw Patrol, the movie. It includes Spin Master, Play by Play, Crayola, VTech, Sambro, RMS International, Kittyland, Blues, Fashion UK, Aykroyd TP, Amscan, Character World, Worlds Apart, Kinnerton, Seabrook, Yoplait, Beiersdorf, Signature Gifts, Egmont, Danilo, and DNC. On April 26, 2021, it was announced that Jakks Pacific and Disguise acquired the new rights as the toy and costume partner based on the film. The Halloween costumes and accessories from Disguise was available online at retailers, and Halloween specialty stores was also available in fall 2021. On June 30, 2021, Mattel purchased rights to create a selection of items under its Mega Bloks and Uno brands, which include more than 10 products featuring the characters from the film. The line of products was available in fall 2021. A series of books based on the film was published on July 13, 2021. A line of action figures and toys collection by Spin Master was released on August 1, 2021, after July 15th pre-sale. In June 2021, PetPlate announced its partnership for the launch of the film. In July, Marston's made a deal with Paramount Pictures to launch the exclusive meal deal and collectible mask offer across 270 pubs ahead of the film release in the UK. The kids' meal deal offer ran throughout August, and it also includes the merchandise, such as 6 collectible character masks and activity sheets. Additional marketing partners for the film included Build-A-Bear, Hasbro, Kellogg's, Campbell's, Kraft Heinz, and Random House Children's Books, while Viacom CBS has partnered with retailers such as Walmart, Target, Amazon, Kroger, and Lidl. Home media. Paramount Home Entertainment released Paw Patrol the movie on digital on October 26, 2021, then on DVD and Blu-ray on November 2, 2021. The digital release features hours of entertainment with exclusive bonus content, including a look at the team, additional news reports with reporter Marty Muckraker, voiced by Jimmy Kimmel, and a sing-along with a reimagined Paw Patrol theme song lyric video. It also includes the bonus episodes with one never-before-seen episode from the Nickelodeon series and a never-before-seen episode of Blaze and the Monster Machines. When the film was released on disc, it entered the national NPD Video Scan First Alert sales chart at number 2, debuting at number 3 on the dedicated Blu-ray disc chart. Television broadcasts. Paw Patrol the movie aired on Nickelodeon on November 18, 2022. Following its debut, Paw Patrol the movie encored on the following Saturday, November 19, and Sunday, November 20. Reception. Box office. Paw Patrol the movie grossed $40.1 million in the United States and Canada and $111.3 million in other territories for a worldwide total of $151.4 million. In the United States and Canada, Paw Patrol the movie was released alongside Reminiscence, The Night House, and The Protégé, as well as the limited release of Flag Day, and was initially projected to gross around $7 to $9 million from 3,184 theaters in its opening weekend. After making $4.5 million on its first day, estimates were increased to $12 to $14 million. It went on to debut to $13 million, finishing second behind holdover Free Guy. 88% of the audience was made up of families, 63% being under the age of 25. The opening was noteworthy because Regal Cinemas, the second largest chain in the U.S., refused to carry the film due to its day-and-date release. The film fell 50% in its second weekend to $6.6 million, finishing in third. It then made $4 million in its third weekend, declining 40% and finishing in fifth place. Worldwide, Paw Patrol, the movie, premiered in 6 markets, making $5.8 million in its first weekend, including a $2.3 million opening in France and a $3.2 million opening in the United Kingdom. In its second weekend, the film made $12.8 million in 39 markets. The top countries were Germany, $2.6 million, the Netherlands, $1.1 million, Mexico, $864,000, France, and the United Kingdom. It also had a South Korean opening in a mere 240 theaters, a decision by the Korea Theater Association to release local titles instead. In its third, the film was screened in 46 markets and grossed $10.3 million, which included #1 openings in Spain, Argentina, and Chile. Critical response. On the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, the film holds an approval rating of 80% based on 51 reviews, with an average rating of 6.310, 66. On Metacritic, the film has a weighted average score of 50 out of 100, based on 14 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of A- on an A+ to F scale, while PostTrack reported 81% of audience members gave it a positive score, with 66% saying they would definitely recommend it. Randy Myers of the Mercury News gave the film 3 stars out of 4 and said, "This old-fashioned G-rated animated children's film, young children, that is, not teens or tweens, does everything it intends to do, and does it well." Kristen Page Kirby of the Washington Post gave 2.5 stars out of 4 and said, "A better movie than it needs to be, with some neat visuals, an outstanding score, and a story that, while simple, is well told." Glenn Kenny of the New York Times called the film entirely toddler-friendly and irony-free. Nate Adams of The Only Critic gave the film a B and wrote in his review, "I think 3 to 6-year-olds are going to wince with glee at the sight of their favorite puppers saving the day, but the parents who are forced to go along for the ride will appreciate the film's cheery sense of humor and educational elements." Lisa Giles-Ketty of Hey You Guys gave the film 4 stars out of 5 and said, "A relentlessly entertainment big-screen outing for the familiar pups. A perfect slice of summer cinema for all the family." James Mottram of South China Morning Post gave the film 3 stars out of 5, saying, "Paw Patrol the movie is a solidly entertaining film for kids with plenty of crash-bang action." Nell Minow of RogerEbert.com gave the film 2.5 stars out of 4, saying, "Parents will appreciate the way the pups tackle problem-solving, working together to make the best use of each character's talents." Courtney Howard of Variety found that any crass consumerism is eclipsed by disarming, demonstrable themes and meaningful sentiments woven throughout the film's textured fabric. Yolanda Machado of The Wrap gave the film a positive review, stating Brunker and his co-writers find a way to deliver a multi-layered story that can grab toddlers while keeping older viewers entertained and not groaning at some propagandized messaging. Frank Scheck of The Hollywood Reporter called the film harmless fun for its target audience. Sarah B. Milner of Screen Rant gave the film a negative review, saying, "Paw Patrol has enough action to keep young fans entertained, but parents will likely be bored by the dragging pace and convoluted plot." Jude Dry of IndieWire gave the film a D and wrote in her review, "While it's doubtful the humorless dirge of a movie will make enough of an impression to mold young minds in any lasting way, the critique of Paw Patrol is useful as an amalgamation of certain favorite Hollywood themes that ought to be retired." Writing for the AV Club, Jesse Hassinger criticized the film's merchandise and gave the film a C-, saying, "The film version feels most energized when it's amping up to sell toys, fetishizing the clicking of plastic into plastic and supersizing the characters' armor and vehicles with a deranged zeal matched only by real police departments around the country." Writing for Los Angeles Times, Michael Ordonez criticized the film for writing under the parents despite its awesomeness for very young audiences. He stated, "To very young kids who like cartoon dogs driving shiny vehicles, Paw Patrol the movie may be awesome. To grown-ups, it may be an aggressively underwritten 88-minute toy commercial." He felt that the voice actors were unremarkable and criticized the script, writing, "The dialogue is fairly represented by the line, 'Where is it? There's so many buildings. I wonder which one it is.' Other media." Video game. A video game based on the film was announced on June 10, 2021, titled Paw Patrol the Movie: Adventure City Calls. Developed by Drakkar Studio and published by Outright Games, it was released for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, Microsoft Windows, and Stadia on August 13, 2021. The game received mixed reviews. It was the third video game based on the series overall. This game is set before the events of the film, where the pups, including Chase, Sky, Marshall, and the new city girl Liberty, embarks on a mission to save Adventure City from Mayor Humdinger, who becomes a mayor in a buzzing metropolis with his selfish scheming. Rocky and Zuma are playable characters, but they are not featured in the box art. While Liberty was not wearing her uniform in the box art, she does wear during the games played. Future. Sequel. Main article, Paw Patrol the Mighty Movie. Main article, Paw Patrol the Dino Movie. In August 2021, director Cal Brunker stated that he would like to make a sequel to the film. We've certainly thought about it. There are other stories that we would be excited about telling, but for us, it's really about seeing if people love this one and then taking it from there. On November 3, 2021, Spin Master officially announced that a sequel titled Paw Patrol the Mighty Movie was in development, with Cal Brunker confirming that he would direct the sequel, while Jennifer Dodge confirmed that she would serve as a producer along with Laura Clooney and Tony Stevens. 6 months later, Taraji P. Henson joined the cast in a new role as a meteor-obsessed mad scientist named Victoria Vance. On January 25, 2023, the film's voice cast was announced, with actors including Kristen Bell, Christian Convery, McKenna Grace, Lil Rel Howery, James Marsden, Serena Williams, Alan Kim, Brice Gonzalez, Christian Corral, reprising his role as the voice of Marshall from the show replacing Kingsley Marshall from the first movie, and Nylan Parthipan. It was also announced that Finn Lee Epp would replace Will Brisbane as the voice of Ryder, and Luxton Handspiker would reprise his role as the voice of Rubble from Rubble and Crew, replacing Keegan Hedley from the first movie, and that Marsai Martin, Kim Kardashian, Ron Pardo, and Callum Schonecker would be reprising their roles as Liberty, Dolores, Mayor Humdinger, and Rocky. It was additionally announced that Pinar Toprak would compose the film's score, replacing Haidar Pereira. The sequel was released on September 29, 2023. On September 26, 2023, Spin Master announced that a third film is in development, scheduled to be released on July 31, 2026. On February 27, 2025, it was announced that the title of the movie is Paw Patrol the Dino Movie. Paw Patrol the Movie Review. Since the Paw Patrol series began airing in 2013, we've seen the heroic Pooches and their fearless 10-year-old leader go on a pirate adventure, rescue dinosaurs, and tangle with various other foes in their fictional, idyllic world. In the real world, the show has left its mark on the pop culture zeitgeist with bountiful merchandise deals and as the butt of jokes on other TV shows. It even became an unwitting lightning rod for political controversy when the now former White House press secretary erroneously reported it was canceled in the wake of Black Lives Matter's protests. Nevertheless, the popular Canadian-produced preschool show persisted, and now the squad is on its toughest mission yet in the imaginatively named Paw Patrol the Movie, which bows in theaters and on Paramount Plus on the same day. Writer-director Cal Brunker, along with co-writers Billy Frolick and Bob Barlin, add further depth and dimension to these beloved puppy protagonists, embracing cinematic spectacle and character-driven emotions to deliver a surprisingly potent feature. Any crass consumerism is eclipsed by disarming, demonstrable themes and meaningful sentiments woven throughout the film's textured fabric. Adventure Bay is a quaint seaside hamlet where intrepid youngster Ryder, voiced by Will Brisbane, and his crew of perky pups are in charge of the town's rescue operations. No job is too big, no pup is too small is their motto. Out of the blue, they field an emergency call from plucky, valiant, dachshund Liberty, Marsai Martin, in neighboring Adventure City. Blowhard Mayor Humdinger, Ron Pardo, Paw Patrol's biggest adversary, has just won the city's election and is instituting harmful policies not only for dogs but humans too. The arrogant, narcissistic buffoon is making good on his overzealous campaign promises with sweeping infrastructure reforms, like building a loop-de-loop for the subway system and a skyscraper only fit for his ego. Worse, he's commandeered a weather-controlling science experiment that, when overtaxed, will threaten everyone's safety. While firefighter Marshall, Kingsley Marshall, pilot Sky, Lily Bartlam, bulldozing bulldog Rubble, Keegan Hedley, recycling handypup Rocky, Callum Schonecker, and aquatic rescuer Zuma, Shale Simons, are all excited to help their number one superfan and humankind, stout-hearted police dog Chase Iain Armitage isn't as thrilled. He's dealing with some nerves stemming from his early years as a scared stray in Adventure City and isn't quite ready to return to show them the hero he's become. He tries to be courageous, outfitting himself with new gadgets and gear and taking to heart Ryder's pep talks. However, once there, his issues resurface, manifesting through crippling bouts of anxiety, causing him to doubt himself, make careless mistakes, and get into dangerous circumstances during rescue operations. As a literal and metaphorical perfect storm unfolds, it brings the pack closer together than ever before. The filmmakers take great craft and care building out this universe, one where dogs speak to humans and a 10-year-old drives an RV, in order to tell an expansive tale with empathy, complexity, and engaging character dynamics, all while retaining the spirit of the series and keeping lessons digestible for young audiences. They engage with cool and warm lighting tones in the CG animated environments, giving the film moody, evocative aesthetics that the show lacks. The intensity of the action is perfectly pitched for pint-sized audiences. The gang's adventures, like putting out a fireworks stunt gone haywire, or rescuing both a truck driver dangling off a bridge and the scared sea turtle he dodged, don't feel like mini-episodes joined ham-handedly. They're tied together cohesively, each with a greater function in the narrative's overarching themes, demonstrating courage, altruism, and the power to inspire change. While each of the patrol get their own movie moment to shine, drawing the focus onto two of its members, potential member Liberty and group stalwart Chase, helps better hone the internal and external stakes. Chase's psychological strife is well executed and approached compassionately. The filmmakers don't hand-wave away poignant, sad notes. Rather, they let them linger, showing characters working through conundrums, since problem-solving is a commendable tenet carried over from the show. Liberty's journey, as she yearns to be part of the group, isn't portrayed as desperate. This capable heroine's got gumption, and her contribution to the teamwork, another series virtue, is a bonus. Supporting characters like the doofy henchman, Randall Park and Dax Shepard, goofy news reporter, Jimmy Kimmel, and snooty poodle, Kim Kardashian West, handle the film's sillier moments. And Yara Shahidi, who voices an overly verbose scientist, is gifted with the movie's long-running gag, hurriedly saying convoluted scientific jargon only to have to dumb it down. Outside of its pathos, the animated adventure is infused with a cheeky sense of humor, from Mayor Humdinger's pantsless pratfalls to the self-aware joke about how Ryder financially supports the troupe, merchandising. This winking nod would sound obnoxious and leave us feeling complicit if the sequences showcasing the patrollers' new tactical wardrobe and shiny vehicles weren't gleefully adorable hype montages for the four-legged heroes. Kiddos might fall prey to its consumerist underbelly, but at least parents won't feel like they need to be rescued from the movie itself. When it comes to Nickelodeon's animated Paw Patrol series, adults generally fall into two categories. The first are intimately aware of the Canadian show because they live with small children. They know the details of its rescue puppy characters and the many purchasing opportunities, from stuffed animals for each of the characters and toy versions of their many vehicles, to t-shirts, bed linens, birthday party decorations, backpacks, and a book to help with potty training. They laughed at Roy Kent's reference to Paw Patrol in the latest episode of Ted Lasso. For everyone else, the only connection to the media and marketing juggernaut that is Paw Patrol is some vague familiarity with complaints on Twitter from parents stuck at home with nothing but Zoom school and Paw Patrol reruns on Nickelodeon. For those who need some background, Paw Patrol is along the lines of Avengers or Justice League for children. A boy named Ryder, Will Brisbane, is the Nick Fury, the human leader of a group of adorable puppies, each with a special set of talents and a Transformer-like vehicle, and most with a rhyming catchphrase. Every episode has a daring rescue to accomplish with courage and teamwork. Kids love them because the puppies are cute, brave, and capable. Also, like a boy band, the group is varied enough that each child can find one to identify with or pick as a favorite. Like the stories that children have loved for as long as there have been stories, Paw Patrol is about young characters triumphing when grown-ups are hostile or ineffectual. Instead of witches and giants, the menace is Mayor Humdinger, Ron Pardo, who looks like the guy on the Monopoly Community chest cards. He is a childish, egotistical, election-rigging big city boss who wants his building to be the tallest and refuses to listen to experts or scientists. I wonder how they come up with these wild ideas. To supersize the Paw Patrol for the big screen and make it more palatable to parents, there are some upgrades in the voice talent. Blackish star Marsai Martin is the highlight of the film as Liberty, a city dog and Paw Patrol fangirl who calls in the pups when Humdinger impetuously sets all of his inaugural celebration fireworks at once. Liberty, who longs to join the patrol, helps address the series' gender imbalance, previously just one female dog. A number of celebrities, some with young children who are likely fans of the show, provide voices as well, with Jimmy Kimmel as newscaster Marty Muckraker, Martin's Blackish co-star Yara Shahidi as a climate scientist, Dax Shepard and Randall Park as Humdinger's bickering henchmen, Tyler Perry as a truck driver who needs a rescue, Adam Levine on the soundtrack, and Kim Kardashian West as what else, a pampered poodle. As the children cheer on the action scenes and gently silly comedy, parents may pay more attention to a sweet subplot with fan-favorite Chase, here voiced by young Sheldon's Iain Armitage, who is ashamed because returning to the big city reminds him of how terrified he was before Ryder found him there. Ryder is able to reframe the memory in a way that helps Chase see how strong he was even when he was scared, and he learns that even heroes are not brave all the time. Parents will appreciate the way the pups tackle problem-solving, working together to make the best use of each character's talents, coming up with alternative strategies when the initial plans are not working, and understanding the mistakes made by team members. Parents may not find much humor in a joke about how the pup's expensive shield-like headquarters and technology are funded by merch, or the depiction of adults as helpless or corrupt or both. But it would be a mistake to project a political message when it's simply recognition of the importance and value for children in stories, from Hansel and Gretel to Pippi Longstocking to Harry Potter, to be able to take care of themselves and others. Still, they may want to talk to children after the movie about whether someone always has to be the alpha, and whether we should laugh at the embarrassment of others after they find out which puppy is their favorite and what adventure they'd like to see the Paw Patrol have next. By shifting the action of Paw Patrol the movie from the humble, homey town of Adventure Bay to the busy metropolis that is Adventure City, the story loses a great deal of its magic, a fitting allegory for the biggest challenge with adapting popular kids' cartoons for a feature film. The Canadian movie is more than an extended episode of the beloved TV series. Some of the familiar aspects are there, but the property is given a fresh new look, a new setting, and new characters. Several of these new elements, however, simply don't work. Paw Patrol has enough action to keep young fans entertained, but parents will likely be bored by the dragging pace and convoluted plot. Paw Patrol, the movie, follows the titular Paw Patrol as they head to Adventure City, where Mayor Humdinger has cheated his way to power. The movie was produced by Spin Master, the same toy company responsible for the TV series and merchandise. It was directed by Cal Brunker, and its screenplay was written by Billy Frolick, Brunker, and Bob Barlin. These names are all accomplished in the world of feature animation. However, they're new to the world of Paw Patrol, and it shows. Paw Patrol, the movie, feels slightly off, almost like an imitation of the popular kids program rather than a 90-minute story based on that world. There are familiar elements from the franchise, Marshall having a comedic tumble or Rubble talking about snacks, but the moments feel shoehorned in and contrast the more dramatic tone set by the surrounding narrative. Part of the issue is, no doubt, the change of setting. By leaving Adventure Bay, Paw Patrol, the movie also abandons the majority of characters longtime fans have fallen in love with. Mayor Goodway, Chickaletta, and Captain Turbot all have very minor cameos, while other beloved characters don't appear at all. The animation style used for Paw Patrol the movie doesn't help with the transition from small to big screen either. In many ways, the visuals are better than ever, and many small children will be positively enchanted by the bright colors and vibrant aesthetic. Yet, the overall new style doesn't quite match the show in ways that some viewers might find distracting or even irritating. The most noticeable changes are to the movie's main characters, Ryder and Chase. Ryder, in particular, is almost unrecognizable. Somehow the movie manages to make him seem even more impossibly young, especially when driving. More subtle are the changes in tone. Humdinger is a lot less goofy, Ryder has a moment of mean-spirited glee, and Liberty, the new pup, threatens a stranger with physical violence. Overall, the world in Paw Patrol the movie is slightly more mature than the preschool-friendly TV series. The movie inserts elements of realism that clash uncomfortably with the most basic elements of the universe, which destabilizes the admittedly flimsy logical structure of Paw Patrol. Skye asking how they can afford a new tower, for example, sets up a lame joke, but in the process, it poses a question that undermines the movie's basic premise. Ryder answers lucrative merchandising, a metafiction joke that is a bit too close to reality to be funny, but this contradicts the later suggestions that the group is relatively unknown in Adventure City. The movie is full of plot holes that make it difficult to suspend disbelief. It's not just that Paw Patrol the movie is implausible, but that the world building itself is inconsistent. There are some other inexplicable Paw Patrol omissions too. The iconic doghouses are gone, and as a result, there's no vehicle transformation sequence, the one element of the show that parents, whether they want to admit it or not, probably do enjoy. Zuma is barely in the film at all, and Rocky and Rubble never really have a role beyond Rubble providing limited comedic relief. The theme song is played, and kids will appreciate the familiarity, but it's too bad the rest of the movie's music doesn't try to match the theme's upbeat tempo. The other songs are all slower paced, even the rock music playing over the suit-up scene drags, and the inoffensive adult contemporary pieces detract from the action on screen. The approach in the feature film is to crib elements from other recent animated movies in lieu of translating what works in the TV show. If Paw Patrol the movie has one fatal flaw, it's an over-reliance on generic trends. Paw Patrol the movie will accomplish its primary goal of entertaining young children for an hour and a half, but it's not an experience anyone else will enjoy. The story is convoluted, the few jokes are tired and unfunny, and the attempts at pathos fall flat. Parents who have sat through hours of episodes and specials, like the 45-minute TV movies Mighty Pups and Jet to the Rescue, will likely recognize many of the same plot lines and ideas being recycled in the movie. Chase losing his self-confidence, for example, or Mayor Humdinger causing a catastrophe by misusing technology, these basic concepts have been done before and done better by the series. Following a formulaic approach is fine and often beneficial for programming geared to young children. However, with a major feature-length film, Spin Master had a chance to do something truly epic with its pups. It's a shame that the franchise went in a different and much less interesting direction. This is not the first spin-off feature from the long-running, immensely popular animated children's TV show, and you can bet the biscuit in your lunch bag it won't be the last. That said, there must be some limit to how much content you can generate from the franchise's core formula, which always finds the titular pack of talking puppy heroes saving their perpetually endangered hometown, Adventure City, from an assortment of perils. Nevertheless, there's perhaps the tiniest little hint that the producers and director, Cal Brunker, are moving with the times in tiny four-toed steps. Instead of focusing the drama around the boy dogs like boisterous boxer Rubble and police dog Chase, who got a lot of airtime in Paw Patrol the movie in 2021, this one spends more time looking into the backstory of Skye, the silky cockapoo girl dog who flies a helicopter and wears a lot of pink. Sausage-shaped pack member Liberty, also coded as female, dominates the film's B-plot. The action, if that's not too grand a word for what happens here, gets going when antagonist Victoria Vance, Taraji P. Henson, steals a magnetic crane in order to pull in a meteor from outer space. Adults accompanying their kids might be disappointed that the script fails to tip its hat to a famous line from Breaking Bad that would work equally here. Magnets, bitch. When the meteor cracks open, glowing pink-purple crystals attach themselves to the Paw Patrol pups and enhance each dog's powers accordingly, so Skye can fly without any mechanical assistance, Chase can run at supersonic speed, Marshall the Dalmatian firehouse dog can summon balls of flame, etc. Only Liberty doesn't have a super skill at first, so the poor thing is compelled to stay back at base and look after the trio of even younger puppies, which seems, in terms of gender roles, awfully regressive. But then again, this contribution to the franchise is all over the place, literally in terms of the accents. British kids will be used to hearing the British accented voice cast speaking the pups' lines. That ensemble has been retained again so as not to confuse the kids. Most of the other non-Paw team characters, however, are voiced by Americans such as the aforementioned Henson, as well as Kim Kardashian, returning here to be the voice of a vain poodle named Dolores. Underaged viewers probably wouldn't care in the slightest about any of this geographical/accent confusion, but it's distracting for pernickety viewers, especially as the rest of the movie is a snore. 2021's Paw Patrol the movie debuted on August 21st, and the critical reception to the film has been pretty positive overall. Based on the massively popular children's animated series and toy line of the same name, Paw Patrol the movie stars Iain Armitage, Marsai Martin, Ron Pardo, Yara Shahidi, Kingsley Marshall, Keegan Hedley, Lily Bartlam, Shale Simons, Kim Kardashian, Randall Park, Dax Shepard, Tyler Perry, Jimmy Kimmel, and Will Brisbane. After its opening weekend in the U.S. and Canada, the film already grossed over $35 million worldwide on a budget of $26 million. For years, Paw Patrol has been at the peak of children's television, establishing an internationally successful franchise that includes the original cartoon, as well as toys, merchandise, video games, and touring live shows. As early as 2017, there were reports that the series was considering a leap to the big screen. While some changes in scope and animation style have been made in Paw Patrol the movie, the core story, characters, and tone are all in line with what fans and parents have come to expect over the years. Now that Paw Patrol the movie has finally arrived in theaters and for streaming on Paramount Plus, it's time to see if the wait was worth it. Overall, the film has received mostly positive reviews from critics, though it has its share of detractors as well. It sounds like the movie successfully translates the best qualities of the show, including its simple yet compelling messages to kids, fun action, and likable characters. Check out what critics are saying about Paw Patrol, the movie below. The general consensus among critics seems to be that the Paw Patrol movie delivers where it counts, providing a colorful, compelling, and entertaining adventure for the franchise's young demographic. The simple yet effective themes of selflessness, teamwork, and overcoming obstacles all seem to be handled well and angled appropriately for the target age range. The fun characters and light but exciting action of the TV show also seem to have translated well to the big screen. In addition, many reviews say that while the movie doesn't have a ton going on for parents or other older viewers, there's just enough to keep more mature audience members engaged throughout. However, not all critics have given the film such strong praise. Lazy writing, poor pacing, a lackluster story, and too much focusing on the franchise's merchandising arm have all been cited as issues with the film, though it sounds like none of those issues are severe enough to make the series' young fans have a bad time. Here's what some of Paw Patrol the movie's more mediocre reviews had to say about the animated film. At the time of this article's writing, Paw Patrol the movie holds an impressive 84% certified fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes, with an audience approval rating of 97%. That's a strong showing overall, emblematic of the film's appeal to its young target audience and its general entertainment value as a family-friendly affair. The movie's biggest flaw seems to be a lack of broad appeal, but likely it won't earn any boos from the kids in the audience. Paw Patrol the movie won't be dethroning Pixar or Disney anytime soon, but it will likely continue to sell tickets, especially for the youngest moviegoers. Here's a quick tip. If you're old enough to be reading this review, you're too old to enjoy the childish pleasures of Paw Patrol the movie. You may, however, have children who are under 10 years old, in which case there's a good chance there's Paw Patrol merchandise, and there's a lot of it out there, strewn throughout your house. The Canadian animated series, which has been running on Nickelodeon since 2013, is a big hit with the preschool and grade school set, and apparently Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. It's now receiving a big screen incarnation, predictably featuring some big-name guest voices, premiering simultaneously in theaters and on Paramount+. The title refers to a heroic team of dogs, correct that, puppies, as is made emphatically clear, led by their 10-year-old human leader, Ryder, Will Brisbane, who performed daring rescue missions to protect the residents of their bucolic home of Adventure Bay. Each of the pups, composed of various breeds, has a particular skill, including firefighting, aviation, and policing. And they're outfitted with a seemingly endless supply of cool, high-tech gadgets that would make James Bond envious. While millions of kids adore the TV show, some adults seem to have serious problems with it. An Irish Times critic described it, one assumes with tongue-in-cheek, as a shadowy attempt to normalize state-sponsored thuggery, while a writer for The Guardian decried it as the megalomaniacal kids' TV show that is ruining my life. A New York Magazine review summed it up succinctly: Paw Patrol is contemptible trash. Alrighty now. Those seem like harsh judgments after seeing the movie version, which feels like harmless fun for its target audience. It's easy to see why kids identify with the heroic pups who manage to continually save the day in ingenious fashion while fueled by perpetual helpings of doggy treats. While the computer animation won't cause the folks at Pixar to lose any sleep, it's effective enough. And when those cartoon canines bat their impossibly large eyes, it's hard not to wish you were heading directly from the theater to the local dog pound. The film's plot is set in motion when the patrol's longtime nemesis, Mayor Humdinger, Ron Pardo, takes over the nearby bustling metropolis of Adventure City and threatens to destroy it with a series of outrageously dumb ideas, such as a massive fireworks display that could turn the town into a fiery inferno, and a combination subway slap-side-down roller coaster that works out exactly as you'd expect. The Paw Patrol heads over to Adventure City, where, with the aid of their newest member, miniature Dachshund Liberty, Marsai Martin, Black-ish, they spring into action. They also settle into lavish new headquarters paid for by officially licensed Paw Patrol merchandise. The stuff sells like hotcakes, a pup explains, as parents everywhere nod their heads in pained recognition. The non-stop action is predictably frenetic, accompanied by corny jokes and a barrage of pop tunes by the likes of Adam Levine and Alessia Cara, among many others, so peppy that the sugar rush provided by theater concessions will seem redundant. The most incongruous plot element involves German Shepherd member Chase, Iain Armitage, young Sheldon, experiencing post-traumatic stress upon returning to Adventure City, where he was once abandoned. His emotional travails prove so harrowing, you begin to worry that the film will culminate in a sequence of canine Russian roulette. Several celebrities, no doubt eager to earn the respect of their offspring, contribute voice performances. They include Tyler Perry, Dax Shepard, Randall Park, Jimmy Kimmel, and playing a sassy poodle, Kim Kardashian. The vocal standout, however, is series veteran Pardo as the dastardly Mayor Humdinger, who looks like the Monopoly Man minus the monocle and whose every utterance is a delightful sneer. Is it wrong of me to admit that he's my favorite character? Paw Patrol the movie in 2021, this one spends more time looking into the backstory of Skye, the silky Kakapa girl dog who flies a helicopter and wears a lot of pink sausage-shaped pack member Liberty, also coded as female, dominates the film's B-plot. Other information about this film: you may, however, have children who are under 10 years old, in which case there's a good chance there's PW Patrol merchandise, and there's a lot of it out there, strewn throughout your house. The Canadian animated series, which has been running on Nickelodeon since 2013, is a big hit with the preschool and grade school set, and apparently Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is now receiving a big screen incarnation, predictably featuring some big-name guest voices, premiering simultaneously in theaters and on Paramount+. The title refers to a heroic team of dogs, correct that, puppies. As is made emphatically clear, led by their 10-year-old human leader Ryder W. Brisbane, who performed daring rescue missions to protect the residents of their bucolic home of Adventure Bay. Each of the pups, composed of various breeds, has a particular skill, including firefighting, aviation, and policing, and they're outfitted with a seemingly endless supply of cool high-tech gadgets that would make James Bond envious. While millions of kids adore the TV show, some adults seem to have serious problems with it. An Irish Times critic described it. One assumes with tongue-in-cheek as a shadowy attempt to normalize state-sponsored thuggy, while a writer for the Guardian decried it as the megalomaniacal kids' TV show that is ruining my life. A New York Magazine review summed it up succinctly: Paw Patrol is contemptible trash. Alrighty, now those seem like harsh judgments after seeing the movie version, which feels like harmless fun for its target audience. It's easy to see why. Kids identify with the heroic pups who manage to continually save the day in ingenious fashion while fueled by perpetual helpings of doggy treats, while the computer animation won't cause the folks at Pixar to lose any sleep. It's effective enough, and when those cartoon canines bat their impossibly large eyes, it's hard not to wish you were heading directly from the theater to the local dog pound. The film's plot is set in motion when the patrol's longtime nemesis, Mayor Humdinger Ron Partardo, takes over the nearby bustling metropolis of Adventure City and threatens to destroy it with a series of outrageously dumb ideas, such as a massive fireworks display that could turn the town into a fiery inferno and a combination subway upside-down roller coaster that works out exactly as you'd expect. The PBU Patrol heads over to Adventure City, where with the aid of their newest member, miniature Dachshund Liberty Mars, Martin Blackish, they spring into action. They also settle into lavish new headquarters paid for by officially licensed Paw Patrol merchandise. The non-stop action is predictably frenetic, accompanied by corny jokes and a barrage of pop tunes by the likes of Adam Levine and Alicia Carr, among many others, so peppy that the sugar rush provided by theater concessions will seem redundant. The most incongruous plot element involves German Shepherd member Chase Iain Armitage, young Sheldon experiencing post-traumatic stress upon returning to Adventure City, where he was once abandoned. His emotional travails prove so harrowing, you begin to worry that the film will culminate in a sequence of canine, Russian roulette, several celebrities. No. Doubt, eager to earn the respect of their offspring, contribute voice performances. They include Tyler Perry, Dax Shepard, Randall Park, Jimmy Kimmel, and playing a sassy poodle, Kim Kardashian. The vocal standout, however, is series veteran Partardo as the dastardly Mayor Humdinger, who looks like the Monopoly man minus the Monle, and whose every utterance is a delightful sneer, is it. Favorite character by shifting the action of PW Patrol, the movie from the humble homey town of Adventure Bay to the busy metropolis that is Adventure City. The story loses a great deal of its magic, a fitting allegory for the biggest challenge with adapting popular kids' cartoons for a feature film. The Canadian movie is more than an extended episode of the beloved TV series. Some of the familiar aspects are there, but the property is given a fresh new look, a new setting, and new characters. Several of these new elements, however, work PW Patrol as they head to Adventure City, where Mayor Humdinger has cheated his way to power. The movie was produced by Spin Master, the same toy company responsible for the TV series and merchandise. It was directed by Cal Broner, and its screenplay was written by Billy Frolick, Brunker, and Bob Barron. These names are all accomplished in the world of feature animation. However, they're new to the world of PW Patrol, and it shows. PW Patrol. The movie feels slightly off, almost like an imitation of the popular kids program, rather than a 90-minute story based on that world. There are familiar elements from the franchise, Marshall having a comedic tumble or rubble, talking about snacks, but the moments feel shoehorned in contrast the more dramatic tone set by the surrounding narrative. Part of the issue is no doubt the change of setting. By leaving Adventure Bay PAW Patrol, the movie also abandons the majority of characters. Longtime fans have fallen in love with Mayor Goodway. Chickaletta and Captain Turbot all have very minor cameos, while other beloved characters don't appear at all. The animation style used for PW Patrol, the movie doesn't. help with the transition from small to big screen. Either in many ways, the visuals are better than ever, and many small children will be positively enchanted by the bright colors and vibrant aesthetic, yet the overall new style doesn't quite match the show in ways that some viewers might find distracting or even irritating the most. Noticeable changes are to the movie's main characters. Ryder and Chase. Ryder in particular is almost unrecognizable. Somehow, the movie manages to make him seem even more impossibly young, especially when driving more. Subtle are the changes in tone. Humdinger is a lot less goofy. Ryder has a moment of mean-spirited glee, and Liberty, the new pup, threatens a stranger with physical violence. Overall, the world in PW Patrol, the movie is slightly more mature than the preschool-friendly TV series. The movie inserts elements of realism that clash uncomfortably with the most basic elements of the universe, which destabilizes the admittedly flimsy logical structure of PW Patrol Sky, asking how they can afford a new tower. For example, sets up a lame joke, but in the process it poses a question that undermines the movie's basic premise. Ryder answers lucrative merchandising, a metafiction joke that is a bit too close to reality to be funny, but this contradicts the later suggestions that the group is relatively unknown in Adventure City. The movie is full of plot holes that make it difficult to suspend disbelief. It's not just that PW Patrol, the movie is implausible, but that the world building itself is inconsistent. There are some other inexplicable PW Patrol omissions too. The iconic doghouses are gone, and as a result, there's no vehicle transformation sequence. The one element of the show that parents, whether they want to admit it or not, probably do enjoy, Zuma is barely in the film at all, and Rocky and Rubble never really have a role beyond Rubble, providing limited comedic relief. The theme song is played, and kids will appreciate the familiarity, but it's too bad the rest of the movie's music doesn't try to match the theme's upbeat tempo. The other songs are all slower paced. Even the rock music playing over the suit-up scene drags, and the inoffensive adult contemporary pieces detract from the action on screen. The approach in the feature film is to crib elements from other recent animated movies in lie of translating what works in the TV show. If PW Patrol the movie has one fatal flaw, it's an over-reliance on generic trends. PW Patrol the movie will accomplish its primary goal of entertaining young children for an hour and a half, but it's not an experience anyone else will enjoy. The story is convoluted, the few jokes are tired and unfunny, and the attempts at pathos fall flat. Parents who have sat through hours of episodes and specials like the 45-minute TV movies Mighty Pups and Jet to the Rescue will likely recognize many of the same plot lines and ideas being recycled in the movie. Chase losing his self-confidence, for example, or Mayor. Humdinger causing a catastrophe by misusing technology. These basic concepts have been done before and done better by the series. Following a formulaic approach is fine and often beneficial for programming geared to young children. However, with a major feature-length film, Spin Master had a chance to do something truly epic with its pups. It's a shame that the franchise went in a different and much less interesting direction. More detail: you may, however, have children who are under 10 years old, in which case there's a good chance there's PW Patrol merchandise, and there's a lot of it out there strewn throughout your house. The Canadian animated series, which has been running on Nickelodeon since 2013, is a big hit with the preschool and grade school set, and apparently Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, it's now receiving a big screen incarnation, predictably featuring some big-name guest voices, premiering simultaneously in theaters and on Paramount Plus. The title refers to a heroic team of dogs, correct? That puppies, as is made emphatically clear, led by their 10-year-old human leader rider, W. Daring rescue missions to protect the residents of their bucolic home of Adventure Bay. Each of the pups, composed of various breeds, has a particular skill, including firefighting, aviation, and policing, and they're outfitted with a seemingly endless supply of cool high-tech gadgets that would make James Bond envious. While millions of kids adore the TV show, some adults seem to have serious problems with it. An Irish Times critic described it, one assumes, with tongue-in-cheek as a shadowy attempt to normalize state-sponsored thuggery while a writer for The Guardian decried it as the megalomaniacal kids' TV show that is ruining my life. A New York Magazine review summed it up succinctly: Paw Patrol is contempt table trash, alrighty. Now, those seem like harsh judgments after seeing the movie version, which feels like harmless fun. For its target audience, it's easy to see why kids identify with the heroic pups, who manage to continually save the day in ingenious fashion while fueled by perpetual helpings of doggy treats. While the computer animation won't cause the folks at Pixar to lose any sleep, it's effective enough, and when those cartoon canines bat their impossibly large eyes, it's hard not to wish you were heading directly from the theater to the local dog pound. The film's plot is set in motion when the patrol's longtime nemesis, Mayor Humdinger, takes over the nearby bustling metropolis of Adventure City and threatens to destroy it with a series of outrageously dumb ideas, such as a massive fireworks display that could turn the town into a fiery inferno, and a combination subway upside-down roller coaster that works out exactly as you'd expect the PW. Patrol heads over to Adventure City, where with the aid of their newest member, Miniature Dachshund Liberty, they spring into action. They also settle into lavish new headquarters, paid for by officially licensed Paw Patrol merchandise. The non-stop action is predictably frenetic, accompanied by corny jokes and a barrage of pop tunes by the likes of Adam Levine and Alicia Cara, among many others, so peppy that the sugar rush provided by the Ader concessions will seem redundant. The most incongruous plot element involves German Shepherd member Chase Iain Armitage, young Sheldon, experiencing post-traumatic stress upon returning to Adventure City, where he was once abandoned. His emotional travails prove so harrowing, you begin to worry that the film will culminate in a sequence of canine Russian roulette. Several celebrities, no doubt eager to earn the respect of their offspring, contribute voice performances. They include Tyler Perry, Dax Shepard, Randall Park, Jimmy Kimmel, and playing a sassy poodle, Kim Kardashian. The vocal standout, however, is series veteran Partardo as the dastardly mayor, Humdinger, who looks like the Monopoly man minus the Monley, and whose every utterance is a delightful sneer. Is it wrong of me to admit that he's my favorite character, though meant for the elementary school set with parents, perhaps resentfully in tow? Paw Patrol, the movie, is a warm and fuzzy adventure that contains enough movement and vibrancy to help it rise above the usual excruciating watch many adults must endure when appeasing their kiddos with plenty of action, some decent stakes, and overall pep. The pups of Paw Patrol know how to work a movie with more danger and pizzazz than its regular TV routine. Paw Patrol ramps everything up for the big screen so that the transition feels rightfully NT-sized. Chase deals with some trauma from his past adventure. City endures Humdinger as its new mayor, and a new canine joins the crew. A streetwise dachshund named Liberty. There's enough new stuff going on to warrant a movie, and enough status quo being coddled to not change the formula, so it works, though. To be super clear, this is a squeaky clean tale that may bore most over the age of 7. Not all cartoon fare is created equal, and in fact, most modern animated movies are clearly made with adults in mind, with many jokes flying over children's heads. This is not the case with Paw Patrol, though there are elements particularly related to Mayor Humdinger that will evoke disturbing parallels from real life that grown-ups will pick up on. Other than that, though this is a very basic and righteously pure tale that is designed to be exciting for young'uns while teaching them about teamwork and friendship on the drama front, narcissistic anti-intellectual Mayor Humdinger sails Adventure City with a series of catastrophes due to his dumb, unsafe ideas, requiring Ryder and his squad of pupers to leave the more picturesque Adventure Bay for some close saves and shaves in the big city. The shift throws lead dog Chase through a loop, since Adventure City holds nothing but painful memories for him as a former stray. This is where Marsai Martin's Liberty comes in. She's a juxtaposition filling the role of a playful, confident stray who never dealt with the fears that Chase felt. Whether kids realize it or not, they're getting some solid storytelling basics here, which also helps pull the older viewers across the finish line. Another thing, kids won't. necessarily notice or appreciate is the spare voice work being done by Kim Kardashian. Jimmy Kimmel, Dax Shepard, and Randall Park, the core Paw Patrol crew, remains mostly untouched voice-wise, though there are a few swap-outs for the big screen, from fireworks mishaps to roller coaster calamities to weather. Machines run amok, the mostly interchangeable can-do canines handle some gently digestible dilemmas with a kennel's worth of bubbly effervescence and positive thinking. Paw Patrol's leap to movies isn't high art, nor is it even animation that's easily or eagerly enjoyed by people outside of its target audience, but it's well-made mirth that turns the dial up on the puper's usual predicaments. Extra information: there are two kinds of people in this world, those who love PW Patrol and those who don't. Thankfully, the number of those who are in love with Ryder and his pups has increased considerably in the last 8 years, and that too in all parts of the world, enabling the Canadian product to go for the big screen. If you don't know PW Patrol, then you must before you head into the theater, for they are worth knowing. Presided by a preteen boy named Ryder, PW Patrol is a team of pups, not dogs, who respond to disasters usually in their town, Adventure Bay, like they did in the TV series. The gang eventually saves the day with their state-of-the-art gadgets and extremely cool vehicles. The story of PW Patrol. The movie revolves around Chase, the leader of the pups. Usually clad in a police uniform, Chase manages to defeat his fears by going to the nearby Adventure City, where Ryder saved him a long time back. How he defeats the ghost of the past that returned to haunt the brave pup is what makes this movie interesting for the young audience. The antagonist in the series is Mayor Humdinger, dubbed as the worst mayor in the history of mayors, and he's the person of interest in the movie as well for his clumsiness and bad mayorship. As for the voice cast, Chase is voiced by Iain Armitage, the boy wonder who plays young Sheldon Cooper in the TV series and replaces Justin Paul Kelly from the TV series. Will Brisbane makes his debut as Ryder, which is usually voiced by Beckett Hipkiss. The very famous TV personalities Jimmy Kimmel and Kim Kardashian. West joined several cast members from the series, namely Kingsley, Marshall, Keegan Headley, Shay Simons, Lily Bartlam, and Ron Partardo, and this movie also comes with a splashy new headquarters for the PW Patrol team, as well as new vehicles and upgraded suits by the end of the movie. We also managed to see a new member inducted into the team. The movie has a lot of messages and examples for young kids. They learn to work as a team, are taught how to overcome their fears, help out their enemies in distress, and always help others. PW Patrol is a Nick Jr. show aimed mainly at pre-K audiences that premiered long after I stopped watching Nick Jr. programming. I've never seen one episode of the show, but from what I could gather from the countless merchandise, it seemed like a combination of Wonder Pets and rescue heroes. Why am I bringing this up? I just watched the 2021 feature-length movie based on the popular kids show without any knowledge or any young kids to watch it with 11 animated films, and I am a sucker for cutely designed animated characters, so I decided to give this movie a shot. I want to point out again that I don't know anything about the PW Patrol shows, so I went into this movie completely blind and might miss some details, but it oncely doesn't matter in my case, because what transpired before me something that is well interesting. The PW Patrol pups, including Chase, Rubble, Sky Marshal, Rocky, and Zuma, are a team of rescue dogs led by a 10-year-old kid named Ryder that saves civilians in Adventure Bay when it is heard that the Paw Patrol's enemy Humdinger is running as mayor in Adventure City. The pups head out into the big city to stop his evil misdoings. However, Chase is scared of going because of his bait experience of being abandoned in the big city, despite that they get the help of a street-smart pup named Liberty, a big fan of the PW Patrol gang, and they all work together to save the city from the evil lurking in it. The story is bland, safe, and predictable, but it makes sense why. The narrative is that way. This story is not meant to enchant viewers of any age like a Disney or Pixar movie. A citizen narrative to enchant mainly its young target audience that knows and loves the PW Patrol shows. Till while the movie does get off to a slow start, the story eventually won me over in a few categories. For one, some of the jokes managed to get me to chuckle. They are not exceptional, well-thought-out jokes, but cute, admirable jokes that are short and sweet. It should also be pointed out that the movie does not resort to juvenile humor like too many fart jokes or toilet humor, which is such a relief. The whole tone of the story is a very cutesy and fun, which may get a little bit much at some point. Still, it is honestly kind of relaxing to see the leading puppies of the PW Patrol being their cute selves while doing what they do and saying cliched but fun one-liners like "Chase is on the case." The stakes in the narrative are not very large. Still, they don't need to be for this kind of movie. Sometimes the film will even take time to have small emotional moments, even if they go too fast to make room for the happier stuff. The young demographic will admire more than their parents. How can I be mad at a story made for its target audience? Eventually, the narrative won me over, despite the plot moving too fast, past the more exciting subjects the movie presents. It's not breaking any ground, but it should suit well for kids, and even adults can get a few laughs in an innocent plot. Even if it is nothing that's special, the characters are cute and harmless, most of the voice actors are coming straight from the show. You don't know if the characters in the show had more personality, but judging by this movie, they are bland but not in an insulting way, as I still found some of them to be very charming despite their lack of character. Will Brisbane plays Ryder. He honestly does an okay job as a character, while he's not given much material to work with. I give some credit to the fact that does try to have a broader range of emotions, especially in the few slower scenes. The movie offers Iain Armitage. Plays Chase the police dog, replacing Justin Paul Kelly from the show. The movie could practically be all about Himashi is the one who goes through the character arc of learning to be brave and what it truly means to be a hero. I have to credit that they give him some emotional material to work with, even if moments don't stay in the film for very long. The rest of the pups in the PW Patrol are just there to be cute, and I honestly don't have a problem with that, as they are indeed pretty adorable despite their lack of characters like Rubble, who is a little dumbfounded. Butch Arming or Sky Holix to spew one-liners and be as adorable as possible are nice, even if they lack exciting character traits. There is also the newest member of the pups, Liberty, played by Marsai Martin. She is the fangirl of the group, and while she is overactive, she is surprisingly not annoying and very charming. Then there is the villain, Humdinger, played by Ron Partardo, who is a pretty dumb villain and poses very little threat to our heroes. Still, it is somewhat fun how dumb he is, and the joke of him losing his top hat only to be replaced by another one does get a chuckle out of me. These characters are not great, but they are not bad characters to spend an hour and a half with. They are what they are. Cute, fun, and harmless as they should be. The animation looks better than it does in the actual show, as it feels like the visuals have been upgraded, thanks to a bigger budget. The pups themselves are cutely designed, while leaving room for the complexities of the fur on their bodies. The human designs, on the other hand, are hit or miss in contrast to the pups. They look very cheap, which I know is the point, seeing as the characters on the show had a cheap look to them to save on budget. Still, it would have been nice if the animation team had taken advantage of their big budget for the film and made the human characters more appealing to look at. The backgrounds, such as the city, do admittedly look very well put together, and it is fantastic to see such high tech in the Adventure City headquarters, and the way the pups' vehicles can transform into many imaginative set pieces to help out the civilians. The animation is cheap in some ways, but in others it can look exceptional. These visuals won't blow people away, but they should suffice for the little kids in the audience. The music will not win any awards in my case, but it knows what it came to do and does its best with what it is given. Ator Pereira does the orchestrated score and does the best job creating a fun score that will occasionally feature the theme from the PW Patrol show. Even the actual PW Patrol theme song will appear in the movie appropriately. There is even a decent end credit song that features Adam Levine of Maroon 5 as he sings the song titled Good Mood. There are better ways to handle a movie soundtrack, but I have seen worse ways. The music for PW Patrol is honestly somewhere in the middle. This is a movie meant for the younger crowd. As far as movies like those go, it was an enjoyable time. It is not a movie I would watch repeatedly, but a harmless movie that I don't need to think too hard about, and a film that gives me an excuse just to enjoy cute characters being their innocent selves. I am impressed that PW Patrol, the movie, succeeded in being harmless and fun instead of juvenile and grading for a movie based on a pre-show on Nick Jr. There are much better films targeted at a family audience that offer just as much for adults as they do for kids. Still, this movie is decent enough, and I wouldn't mind watching it again, even if that rewatch is sometime in the distant future. This film, directed by Cal Brunker, screenplay by Billy Frolick, Cal Brunker, Bob Barron, story by Billy Frolick, produced by Jennifer Dodge, starring Markai Martin, Yara Shahidi, Kim Kardashian, Randall Park, Dax Shepard, Tyler Perry, Jimmy Kimmel, Will Brisbane, edited by Ed Fuller, music by Adder Pereira, production company Spin. Master Entertainment, distributed by Elevation Pictures Canada, Paramount Pictures, under Nickelodeon Movies International release dates, August 8th, 2021 in View, Leicester Square. August 20th, 2021 in Canada, running time 86 minutes. Country, Canada. Box office $151.4 million. So guys, this is the review of Paw Patrol, the movie, and some information about it. How do you like our today's video? Please let us know by commenting. And if you like this video, please like it, share it, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.